Hi and welcome to Discovering DataFlex. Today we are going to dive deeper into the special features of DataFlex. We are going to create a view where we can keep track of how many things we have in each location. And we're going to use a little trick with the data dictionaries that is going to come in really handy if you don't want to recalculate totals every time. So let's dive. All right, so we are here. And here we can see a lot of items that we have. If we go to the overview, we can see that if we select a location, we have a list of locations here. We can see how many things we actually have in the freezer, for instance. But we would like a even faster overview. So we would like to have like a location list. This is just one location, but we want a location list with an a count for the number of things we got there. We might also add things like a date where we need to manage things, the next date something runs out in the freezer, or when it's time to do something with something in the basement. You never know. But right now, we're just going to start with a simple count and try to keep that up to date. And let's see how we do that. I'm going to start by stopping that. And now we're going to create a new web view. And it's going to be a web wizard. Yeah. And we're going to call it O location list, perhaps. And it's going to be a simple view. And we're going to have the locations. And now you see we only have ID and name. So we're just going to add the name here. But we want to have a count as well. So we need to add that to the database. Let's see. Next, finish. And let's go to the table, location, and add our count. See here. Item counter, yeah. And that should be an integer, I guess. Int, there you are. And yeah, why not? And we're not going to put any index because we're not going to search on that one. So just save that. And now let's go back to our location list. And now we have this item. We're not going to use that actually because we're going to do a list view. So we're just going to pick a web list here. And let's remove that. We have the data dictionary O location. And we want to add some columns. We're not going to use that column. And then we're going to go into the DDO Explorer. And here we can pick those two, just drag them into the list. And the code is created by itself. That's nice. And let's just call it count or items. And that could be named, that's fine. And that's how we do that list. That's just fine. and we can have a look at it. Location list, and you see the location and item. But in this case, we haven't filled the list with any data yet, so we also need to do that. And as usual, we press F1 on the C web list, and we get some information on how to fill that with data. We have this on loads and find of customer DD, first record. Yeah, we could do that. We have the main server and main DD, so we just do this procedure here, and it's the location and find first record. See what that does. Let's see, location list. Yeah, here we go. We got all our locations and we got 0. So now we want to make sure that we update the item count. So what we're going to do here is we're going to do a procedure with the updates and backout. So we can write procedure update, and we can just press F1 on it. And you can see here we get some sample code on how they are used. So we can just copy and paste it in here. Let's indent them. And we do the forward send, and then we don't want this, but we want the location dot item count or item counter to increase by 1 when we do an update. And we want the exact same to happen when we do a backout, but then we want to decrease by 1. So we're going to say minus here. So this is going to help us keep the total count updated. And we can just use it like this, because since they are in a data dictionary and they are related, so we have the location file as a server file, then when the item has been updated, it will also call an update on the location. So if we change the location here, it will actually update the location later by default. So that's kind of included in the data dictionary. So this is all the code we need to get this to work. So what we want to do now is we want to go in and update the basement with a chair. And they need a category. Yes, belongs to the renovation. We don't need an expire date. And then we go to our list here and we have to refresh, but then you see that we have one item in the basement. And we can go over to the freezer and we can add ice cubes. Let's put a date on that. And if we go back to the location list, you can see the freezer has been updated, but it says 1, and we have 4 items in our freezer right now. So we need to go into the database and update this manually for now. So the simplest way we could do that is just open the database, but we could also just add a form field here where we could update that. So let's do a quick check for that. You could also write a script that runs behind the scenes once every day to recalculate your warehouse stock or the amount, just to check. But This is the safest way for updating the count in DataFlex. Here it is. Let's stop that and just go in here and add the additional item count. Can make that a bit smaller. Just put it there, and then let's see the properties. Items, the label position, and put the label on top. And now we can run this. And let's go into the overview and check out this. There's one. Here we have 4, so let's update that with 4. Yes. 1 for garage has 1. And wardrobe has 1. Wardrobe 2 has 1. Did we actually save that one? No, we did not. Okay. Save. Wardrobe 2. Save. There you go. And now if we go into our locations list, we have this updated. And if I were to go to the basement and add some paint for renovation, then it says 2 up here now. Let's see if I can add a paint brush, some renovation here. Yep, there we are, and it says 3. And if we go to the location list, it also says 3. And now the good thing with putting it in the data dictionary is that even if I go into an item where I only have the item and I create a new item, let's say I want to create some shoes, and I want to put them in, oh, that's clothes. And I want to store them in wardrobe 2. And I have a far-fetching expiration date. I save, confirm. And now as I go into the location list, wardrobe 2 has been updated with 2. So now we can also go in and check the overview here and look up the wardrobe 2 and see that there are 2 items here. So now this will keep track of our total wherever, whenever we add new items or remove items. And this with only these few lines of code. Yes, and now we also need to look at the changes we made. We did add the list, the location list. We updated the overview with the counter, so we could update that. We can see here that the web app had the new location list included into the menu. So we want to keep that. And then we added this simple little feature of update and backout, and we updated the table with an item counter. So um, update and backout to keep a total of items. Really good thing to be using. And you can use it to update other things as well. It could be like certain types of items doesn't count. So you can set an if statement and ignore some types of items. And you can sum up totals. If you have like a price and you want the total price, you can add up the price instead of just add one, or volume or what have you. So it's really good practice to use these features. Let's commit that. That's all I had for you today. Be aware that the dictionaries are there to help you keep track of all the relationships between the tables in the database. And um, you should use the update and backout to keep track of total, or you should have a completely separate script that updates the total for you. Because the uh, the data is not saved until DataFlex has made sure that all the relationships are intact and everything has been updated in order. So keep that in mind, and have a good week. See you next time. Bye for now.